Hey guys, this is Orin Productions, aka Nana4673, and I am back in Wilder Ran Story Part 5. It's a webcam video. Here I am. Hi. It's nice to see ya. And it's been a while since I've done webcam, and I apologize for the open window, but the weather is absolutely splendid, which means it's hot. So I can't just leave it closed, because I would die. I'm trying to work it with the mic. It's a little hard, because, like, when it's a webcam video, I can't sit, like, all close to the mic like this. So I have to be a bit away from it, so, I'm gonna see how that works. Right, we're at chapter 5. It was kind of awkward last time, because we, ended up doing the do with Ren. And now we're awkward, because we don't really know what happened. It was a passionate, but very not planned moment. Alright. Oh no, did I mute the music? I can't remember. Nope, the music's there. The music's there. It's just silent as the grave. Alright. We continue to avoid even looking at each other well into the next day. Following the trail down, we walk in strained silence. There we go. Music. I gotta just... Thank you. When we finally leave the mountain behind, we find miles and miles of farmland stretching out in all directions. It's a much more pleasant walk. I've never seen grass this green, land so open and alive, animals grazing by the side of the road so docile they don't even look up as we pass. Today, as every day since leaving Sia, I'm getting to experience many new things. My mind flits back to the last night, and I clamp down on those memories. Not those new things. Don't think about those new things. The unmistakable sound of a rumbling stomach cut through my thoughts. For a moment, I'm appalled at my bad manners, but then, I realized despite my hunger, it wasn't my stomach. What? Nothing. Rand refuses to acknowledge the noise he just made, and just keeps walking. Gonna take a sip of tea. Oh god. Eventually, we come across a small farm. Go knock and ask for directions. Directions? Aren't we following the road? Just go knock. I could argue, but what's the point? Argue anyway! Why should I? Fine. Well, that was arguing. How can you win an argument by saying nothing? Because you're not stubborn enough. Walking up to the farmhouse door, I notice Rand disappearing around the side. Where are you going? Probably better if they don't see me. I've been told I can be off-putting. Rand, you're not... Yes, thank you, mistress. Very sweet of you. Actually, I want to tease him instead. You? Off-putting? Never. Haha. Just knock. He slips out of sight around the side of the cottage, and I knock on the door. After a while, it's starting to look like nobody's home. Then, eventually, the door opens. Hello? An elderly woman stands on the other side, her blind eyes staring out past me at nothing. At least, she can't see what a terrible state I'm in with my ripped clothes. That might make her a bit less likely to turn me away as a beggar. Good morning. I was wondering if you could help me. Of course, dear. What do you need? I need some directions. I'm trying to get to Umar. Umar? She's surprised. Well, if you keep following this road, you'll come to Dejara. Dejara? It's a little port town, lots of ships coming and going. You'll definitely find one going to Umar. May I ask what a young lady is traveling all the way to Umar by herself? The jolt of fear and suspicion goes through me, but the lady's face is kind. I think she's genuinely concerned. Don't trust anyone, Jiraiya. It's just a journey. Can't have been an easy one so far. Her pity is obvious. I go to answer, but then stop, mouth falling open. Behind the woman, I can see a window on the back wall of the house. And Rand climbing through it. He's gonna steal food, I knew it. He notices me staring and makes a motion with his hand. Keep her talking motion. Do you live here alone? Oh yes, ever since my dear Alphonse passed away. Oh no, here comes the guilt. goodness, has it really been 3 years? Time really is getting away from me. I'm sorry. The old lady reaches out and manages to find my hands and squeezing them. You're a sweet girl. No, I'm not. I'm doing something bad, and I don't even know what that is. Ran, having finished whatever he was doing at the house, is now climbing out back the window. He must pull at his almost but not quite healed injury, wincing and accidentally kicking the vase from the windowsill. Of course he is. It falls to the floor, not smashing, but creating a lot of noise. Ran freezes, half in and half out. The woman turns to the window, looking right at him, but not seeing him. My vase. Oh, that darn cat! I glance at the cat, a fat tabby, currently sitting on the chair, perfectly content to ignore all of us and keep licking itself. Ran slips out and disappears. The old lady turns back to me, smiling. Oh, well, come in, dear, and I'll make you some breakfast. You must be famished. No, thank you. I'm already backing away. I have to go. I turn and practically run from her doorstep. Looking about for Ran, I see him standing over by the old lady's barn. He gestures me over silently. Once I'm there, he practically drags me inside. Look. Ran spreads his haul on the floor. Food, supplies, all useful things. All things stolen from that sweet old woman's house. I can't keep this. We have to give it all back. What? She would have given us these things if we just asked. Don't be so naive, Shabanu. She would. She was a good person. Good human. Not this again. She could be the kindest little old lady in the world, but she wouldn't have helped me. You don't know? I do know. You haven't seen enough of the world that you don't... He bites off whatever he was about to say. Look, you're hungry. Just eat. I am hungry. Desperately so. Perhaps if I just pretend that I took her up on the offer of breakfast, I take a modest portion of fruit and sit on the floor on the barn to eat. Ran joins me, talking in with enthusiasm. My annoyance drains away with the joy of feeling my stomach fill up. Even Ran's spirits seems to lift. Finally, we're talking about silly, unimportant things. So, not magical? No. At all? Not at all. And your horn? Cut off as punishment, not because it grants wishes. Finally, I get to indulge my curiosity about Albino Jean, and the many rumors I've heard over my life. Super strength? Well, I am strong, but I had to work hard at it. My skin is just my skin, doesn't mean anything. Did you mean for that? I didn't mean for that to rhyme, no. He laughs without restraint, and my breath catches. What? I just thought that you looked... What? Really beautiful. At least say handsome. I look down in my lap, suddenly feeling shy. Memories from last night at the spring cycle through my mind, pasting over and over themselves until I can barely stand it. You should talk about that, darling. Oh god, I am just spilling every time I lift this cup. Ran shifts a little closer. Listen, Shabanu. What happened last night? That was madness. You were lightheaded, I was weak from my injury. We were both... not ourselves. You know, don't you? That it changes nothing. It changes everything. It's changing something for me. Ran's eyes narrow in pity. You really are so naive. Excuse me! He sighs and huffs out a little laugh. Don't laugh at me! I'm not laughing at you. I told you before about how I left my first master. Yes? Do you want to hear the rest? Ran takes a deep breath and begins. They took me to the desert, to the diamond mine. I was just one of 100 Jean. The work was back-breaking, especially for a scrawny teenager like me, whose precious duties included holding candles and turning pages. But the company director was sure I would be a good worker. He was one of those idiots who believed the tales of Albino Jean and their powers. The funny thing was, eventually I proved him right. As he pushed me harder and harder, I got stronger and stronger. I was more powerful than I had ever been, but I was dead. Ran. Every day, the same routine. labor in the dark mines, coughing up dusts, coming up at night for dinner, eating in silence, falling asleep. The other Jean was just as dead as I was. It wasn't a place for forging friendships. Rand looks down at where his fists have clenched in his lap. I missed the old man. I didn't hate him then. I spent most of my time asking myself what I'd done to make him discard me. That kind of loneliness is crushing. His face darkens. It made me stupid. Rand suddenly stops, rethinking, vulnerable. I can see him closing everything back off right before my eyes. I reach out and place my hand over his clenched fists. They tremble, then unfurl beneath me. He takes another deep breath and continues. The company director lived on site in a tent the size of a house. He lived there with his family, who he'd brought with him, his wife, and their daughter. Amaya. His voice is soft when he speaks the name. A cold, complicated feeling spreads through my chest. She was beautiful. A girl on the cusp of womanhood, removed from the comforts and friends she knew in the city and utterly bored. She took an interest in me. Rand's eyes are unfocused, looking out past me, past everything, and I know that right now he's looking at her. We could only meet in the dead of night. I'd come to her... Fuck. Okay. What happened was that well, the game crashed, basically. That's what happened. And, sad times. The game crashed, and I couldn't open it again. And finally I've made it work after ages. So it's not the same day, as you may see. I am wearing different stuff, and it's nighttime. It's been a while, actually. But we're gonna have to make do. And just continue. I'm gonna have to move this computer screen a tiny bit. There we go. Also, I have to be kind of quiet, because it's late. And I don't want people to be annoyed in my apartment complex. So, yeah. I have to stop tugging this strand out. Actually, maybe I shouldn't. Whatever. Where I think Rand is talking about the girl he was in love with once. So yeah, backstory time. I'd come to her after a full day of mining, but as soon as we were in each other's arms, all the exhaustion and misery would fall away. For months we managed to fool everyone. We'd meet in secret every night, right under their noses. And then one night, our luck ran out. Her father found us, already half naked and entangled. His face was red, his eyes were wild, wilder than any Jean's. And all I could think was, protect Amaya, you have to protect her. But my mind was blank. I couldn't think of what to say. He blinks, bitterness returning to his eyes. But Amaya? Amaya knew what to say. She cried. She called me a beast. She said that I'd attacked her. Of course she did. Of course she did, stupid bitch. His voice trembles ever so slightly. Betrayal, dulled and dimmed by time, plays across his face. Her father grabbed me by the hair, called for someone to bring him his sword. He was going to kill me. And in that moment, for the first time since I'd come to the desert, I wasn't dead. I was alive, and I wanted to stay that way. So I killed him first, ripped him apart with my bare hands. In the moment before he died, he must have regretted making me so strong. Oh gods, Ran, oh gods, what have you done? The words were muffled and far away. Rand's blood was singing. The body on the ground, the red sand, the memory of flesh and bone crumbling in his hands. It all felt like freedom. Please, Ran, oh, please. Amaya was crying. Rand turned to her, straining to see her through the haze before his eyes. Having his attention only seemed to make her cry harder and shrink away when he stepped closer. "Please, don't kill me." When Ran took another step, she threw herself at his feet. "I'm sorry. My darling, I love you, Ran, please." For the first time, Ran heard the words as lies. For the first time, he finally understood. Part of me wanted to kill her. I ran instead. I fled until my legs couldn't carry me anymore. Then I waited to die. But I didn't die. Instead, I learned how to live. The desert became my home. It was a harsh home, but it kept me safe from the truly dangerous things. I prayed every night that I would never have to see another human. Ran finally meets my eyes, and I know why he told me all of this. "Do you understand now?" he says silently. "I will never trust you." I'm not a Maya. I wouldn't betray you. Is that a promise? I promise. Ran shakes his head. It's not a promise you can make. My heart tugs painfully. I understand. I have to forget what happened between us. Anyway, we've more important things to think about right now. Yes. Like getting a ship. What? No, that's the easy bit. Easy? We don't have the money to book passage. Actually, about that. Ran reaches into a pouch in his trousers and pulls out a purse of coins. What? How? Remember the night we left Sia? How you were so surprised to see me back at the villa? You stole money? Found it in a cabinet. Amazing, isn't it? I bet your uncle forgot he ever put it there. Ran hesitates for a moment, then hands the purse to me. Doesn't make much sense for me to be carrying it. You better hold on to it, mistress. So I gotta turn the volume down a bit. After breakfast, we head out. Counting the money, I'd found that we easily had enough to barter onto a ship and more besides. We're gonna be nice. Ignoring Ran's protests, I knock on the farmhouse's door once more. When the old lady answers, I don't say a thing. I just press some coins into her hands and run away. Ran and I walk along the road, making good time. It seems as if we'll make it to Dijara by evening. Nearly there, Ran suddenly grabs me and drags me into the bushes by the side of the road. I swear, if that man is... if Shamra, was that his name? If he's still alive, I will kill a bitch. By now, I've learned not to resist. Then I noticed the proud colors of the Seer Guardsmen, soldiers, here, coming toward us down the road. One more sweep and we can call it a night, yeah? That's what Captain Hamza, that's his name, said. He's not fucking dead. How can he... Oh my god, he is real persistent there. Besides, it was neither of us. I'm pretty sure Ran didn't do it. What if he did? Oh my god. What if he's like, oh, that makes sense. I'm gonna have to remember that. It's all a bit pointless patrolling the road, isn't it? Yeah, isn't the checkpoint at Dijara gates enough? They're not gonna get through that. Captain Hamza said they have to come this way. Maybe we must be vigilant. Yeah. Brown noser. As the soldiers pass, Ran and I share a look. What are we going to do? We have to get into Dijara. What about the checkpoint? We stay crouched in the bushes while we think. Eventually our prayers are answered by an old cart with a squeaky wheel. The merchant is alone, driving his small cart of goods along the road and whistling an out-of-tune song. We could both ride on that cart! Not a bad idea, but how? You could distract him and I could sneak on? No way, never again. That won't work. Ran throws me an irritated look. Well, we could always just kill the man and take his cart. The frightening thing about Ran is that I can never tell when he's joking and when he's not. Fine, Shabanu. How do you say we should handle this? We're not that naive. We'll bribe him. With my money? No, I don't think so. Okay. Just saying, asking nicely is a bad idea. We ask nicely. Genius. Shut up. Abandoning the argument, I step out of the bushes with my arms raised to hail the cart. The merchant halts his horse, looking annoyed. Yeah, he's not gonna like this. Asking nice is not... No. Why would you ever think of doing that? Well, he wouldn't have given us the money either way. Sir, I was wondering if you could help me. I need a ride to the Dajara. Dajara? Yeah. The Dajara that's less than a quarter of a mile up the road? That's right. The man thinks it over, looking me up and down appraisingly. Just you? Not exactly. I gesture for Ran to leave the bushes and join me. He fuses until I go and drag him from there. My Jean as well. No. Wait. Look, lady, I don't know what Dutchy shit you and your pet are up to, but I don't want no part of it. Ran doesn't even look displeased at the insult. It just gives me a slow, smug grin. Wait, please, we're desperate. I'm sorry, I just spit into the mic. Please don't do that, Nana. How desperate? What? You're obviously up to no good, so you want to hide in my cart? You gotta make it worth my time. What do you want? Ugh. He looks me up and down once more, his gaze leaving a slimy feeling like a slug's trail. You, darling. Me? This goes against everything I stand for, but like in survival theory, if all we're going for right now is survival, like I know we're gonna get through it, but if we're like thinking survival, like we will die if this, yeah, man, if that's what it takes. If I agree, you'll help us. Yeah, of course. In an instant, Ran is at the man's throat, claws out. Counter-offer. You do as the lady asks and I don't kill you. Criminals, you're just a couple of criminals! Ran hesitates. The man may not be able to tell, but I know that Ran won't kill him. Probably. I need to smooth things over quickly. We can pay you. Ran glares at me. I ignore him. How much? I have to hand it to the man. A jean's claws at his throat, and the offer of coin can still make his face light up. 2 silver. 10. What? That's nearly everything we have. 5. 10, my lady, that's the offer. Ignoring Ran's pointed looks, I continue to negotiate. 7. Oh, go on then. We reach an agreement, and suddenly Ran and I are welcomed onto his cart like old friends. Luckily, he turns out to be a rug and fabric merchant, so there's plenty of soft material to hide under. As the cart trundles along, I can feel Ran's disapproval. That was most of our coin. I know. The coin we needed for a ship. Yes, Ran, I know. But what else could we have done? Like, I did everything. What was your plan for getting us into Dajara? I told you my plan. Yes, the murder plan, of course. Ran glares like he's about to argue. He leans over and flicks my forehead instead. My hands fly up to cover the spot that's now stinging, and I stare at him in shock. He doesn't look the least bit apologetic. Pinch! I pinch him in revenge, managing to get his shoulder. Hey! He brushes my hand away, face drawn into what I can only call a pout. But then he goes for a second forehead flick, and I twist away, arms and legs flailing. Suddenly we're both laughing. You are intolerable. You are insufferable. Unbearable. Unendurable. Both pains in the ass, now shut up. We're nearly there. As the gates of that word, I cannot pronounce anything for shit. As the gates of Dajara's loom, Ran and I burrow beneath the pile of rocks and fabric and lie in silence. Halt! Hiding beneath layers and layers of cloth, I strain to hear what's going on. Evening, friend. State your business in Tijara. Got wares to sell at the market tomorrow, ain't I? What's in the cart? My wares? Sir, I'm going to need to search your cart. My heart jumps into my throat. Rand's hand covers mine, squeezes. Is some new policy? Is this some new policy, is it? Bothering regular visitors and businessmen with stupid bollocks before they even can get through the gates. I'm not affiliated with Tijara. I'm a soldier of Sia, and we have official sanction to fetch the mayor. What? He's an old friend of mine. Before you put a finger on my merchandises, I want to speak to him. I don't. Or go get your captain. Tell him to fetch the mayor. I want to let him know how disappointed I am that he decided to I can't even pronounce it. Capitulate. I whisper without thinking. Rand's elbow catches me in the ribs. Capitulate. How disappointed I am that he's decided to tip the... Oh my god, this is embarrassing. To a bunch of jumped up asses from a city I don't give a shit about. He might decide to rethink his hospitality and might throw you lot out on your bums. We are very good friends, you know. There's a long silence. I hold my breath. Just go, get out of my sight. I hear the creaking of the gates as they open, and we're on the move again. I guess it was... That merchant is horrible, but at least he got us through it. After a while, the cart stops again, and the pile of stuff... Stop scratching your nose, Nana. It's not very charming. And the piles of fabric is whisked away, exposing us to some much-needed light and air. Out. We get out. Money. I give him his money. Rand doesn't hide how much he hates that. Now, I don't know what that was all about, but I pray I never find out. And I never want to see you two again. The feeling is mutual. Yeah, no gratitude. That's fine by me. And me. And me, so perfect. With that, the man drives his cart out of the alley, leaving us behind. Alone, with barely any money, in an unfamiliar town, probably crawling with people looking for us. Well, Shabanu, let's get ourselves a ship. Guess we're gonna have to steal one. Chapter 6. Ooh, new music. It sounds like a pirate music. I am all for pirates. Like, if there's pirates, I'm on. Getting a ship, as it turns out, is not so simple a task when you look like you've crawled out of a bush and have barely any coin to your name. Excuse me, sir. Oh, I'm sorry, miss. Don't have any coin to spare. What? No, I'm not. And I'm afraid there's a zero-tolerance policy on begging on the docks. It's kind of humiliating, but you know. My face burns even as I push ahead with this awful conversation. I'm not a beggar. I need to book a passage on a ship to Umar. Cheapest price would be 8 silver, I'd imagine. Do you have 8 silver, miss? Please remove yourself from the docks, miss. Everyone I try to ask just assumes the same thing. I suppose I can see why. My dress is in tatters and I'm covered in little scratches and cuts. I certainly don't look like the well-bred young lady I was in Sia. You just gotta have to put that behind you, darling. Not your life anymore. Gotta make a living with what you had. Ran, I've worked out the problem. You shouldn't have given away all of our money. No. The problem is our appearance. We need to make ourselves look more presentable. That's not a solution. No, it is. In Sia, my aunt and uncle only had to walk into a room for people to start showering them with free gifts. People knew them, probably feared them. Well, that may be true, but it's only part of it. A large part is simply looking like you deserve good treatment. Ran is dubious, but he follows me to an inn all the same. Everyone turns to stare as we walk in, or well, they turn to stare at Ran. It occurs to me that if Hamza has given our descriptions out around town, this is the moment where we'll be rumbled. There can't be too many albino Jean around after all. Then everyone turns back to their drinks and I can breathe again. That is very lucky. Actually kind of unbelievable, to be honest. The innkeeper, a middle-aged, gentle-faced woman, smiles as I approach the bar. Welcome, sweetheart. What can I get you? It's gotta be up front. I'll be honest, I don't really have any money. I see. The innkeeper nods, thoughtful. Get out. No, please, we don't need a room, but please, at least a bath. Where are you from, girl? Umar? Umar? You're very well spoken. Good posture. Looks like that was a nice dress once. She looks at me through narrowed eyes. I can tell what she's thinking. Oh, sweetheart, go take a seat. Thank you. Red and I go and sit by the free table. Not too long after, the innkeeper comes over with a plate of warm food. It's just leftovers, but it's on the house. Then she starts, not expecting Rand to be sitting as well. Then I remember that back in a human town, as far as anyone is concerned, Rand is my slave. He shouldn't be sitting with me. I'll go fetch another plate for your Jean. Unfortunately, the innkeeper ignores this breach of etiquette. Fortunately, the innkeeper ignores this breach of etiquette and brings him another plate of food out for Rand. Rand says nothing but raises his eyebrows at me in a smug, knowing way. I think a part of him actually enjoys it when a human treats him like he's nothing. Because then he gets to be right and give me that look. This may just be leftovers, but looks good. We devour our meals, both of us unable to hold back ourselves. It's been so long since our last real dinner. After my stomach feels bloated and I sit with my hands over my belly. Rand looks equally as uncomfortable and blissful. Oh good, you ate it all up. Say, would you like to follow me? With that, she's already heading towards the kitchen. She knows who we are. Ren and I exchange confused glances, but stands up and go after her. She knows who we are and she's gonna give us away and we're gonna have to go run. In the kitchen, a wooden tub sits by the roaring fire, filled to the brim with steaming water. The inn's cook stands nearby, throwing an annoyed glare at us as the innkeeper shoos her from her own kitchen. Throw your clothes outside before you bathe, I'll have them washed. And with that, we're left alone. This is very kind of them. Rand snorts. What? He rolls his eyes. That innkeeper isn't stupid. She can smell the noble blood in you, and she's angling for a favor. That makes sense. Maybe you're right. Mark my words, you'll see. I dip my fingers in the water, testing. Ouch! I snatch them back immediately. Far too hot. Rand comes over to the top and ripbles the water with his hands. It's fine. And Rand can go first. Looks like you'll get to go first then. Are you alright with that, Shabanu? Well, as long as you don't take too long. Of course. It's getting dark by the time I can finally get in the tub. Rand sits far away, back to me, facing the door. I suppose it's gentlemanly, but also feels... Oh, it's this music again. Do you always... Is it just like, as soon as this music comes on and there's something to do with water, we're gonna end up making out? Because, like, I'm okay with that, but, you know? But it also feels like a bit like a lesson he's teaching me, driving home just how little what happened between us meant. We have to talk, darling. Ran, I was thinking... No, what? Just no. What else can I do except sigh and drop the subject? I lift out a leg of the water to rub it clean. The water sloshes, and I notice Rand's ears twitch, the line of his back straining with tension. Perhaps he is, in fact, aware of me. Naked. So close. So far. Once we're both bathed and clean and wrapped in towels, the innkeeper returns to the kitchen with our clothes. As I slip back into my dress, I realize that it isn't quite the same dress I left for her. Did you fix this? Thanked the cook. She's a whiz with a needle. Took some old fabric we had lying around and stitched it up in no time. Thank you, truly. Thank you so much. I'm so happy I can't help but twirl. Rand, how does it look? Predictably, he just snorts. The innkeeper gives him a curious look and he quickly wipes the insolent look from his face. It looks fine, mistress. Uh-oh, I'm gonna be trouble in this for to be in trouble for this later. As we head out, I thank the innkeeper one more time. It was a pleasure, my lady. All I ask, please remember my humble little inn when you go to when you or your family pass through this way again. Rand shoots me another triumphant look and I ignore him. Yeah. It's getting late, but we still have to find a ship. The harbour master sees us coming and pulls an exasperated face. Then, taking in our much improved appearance, he gives in with a sigh. Listen, miss, there's a ship leaving for Uma in 3 days. Now, I can't pretend that I haven't noticed your albino Jean there. Lend him to us until then. Let us put him to work on the docks, and I'll put in a good word. Get you on that ship. No. The harbour master is startled by Rand's outburst, a very unslave-like behavior. Excuse us for just a moment. I pull Ran aside. Ran, I know this isn't ideal. Ideal? You want to lend me out to these strangers as if I'm a tool. I don't want to. You don't have to do it. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's up to you. We can think of something else. Damn it, no we can't. We're fucked. Since you wasted most of our money. Stop mentioning that! Wow, he is never going to let that go, is he? Please, feel free to keep bringing that up at every opportunity. Oh, I intend to. Miss, your answer? I'll do it. Rand talks over me, turning that intense red gaze on his on the harbour master. Oh, excellent. Report here tomorrow at first light. I shake on the deal with the harbour master and then hurry Ran away before his behavior can rouse any more suspicion. So, Shabanu, the next 3 days are decided for me. What will you be doing? I'll ask for work at the inn. I'll ask if they need any staff at the inn. Can't hurt to have a bit of money in our pocket, right? Are you even capable of a day's graft? Isn't sitting in some perfumed room drinking tea more your style? I ignore the insults, something I'm getting very good at if I do say so myself, and head back to the inn. Time to push our luck. As it turns out, my intentions don't matter anyway. The innkeeper is happy to give us a room, but it comes with the condition that I'll help out around the inn during the day. In the morning, Ran heads out to work, and I slip into an apron. That night, Ran returns. He's in a bad mood, exhausted, stinking of sweat. But after another bath and a hearty meal, he isn't nearly as annoyed. He tells me that he overheard some gossip that day. Two men talking about the fugitives from Sia. Now, how they've been told that to be on the lookout for a young girl and her Jean. No mention of the Jean's color. It seems strange that Hamza wouldn't share that information with the people of Dejara. We'd have been spotted and apprehended already. But then again, as Rand says, people get kind of funny when it comes to something as valuable as an albino Jean. It makes them greedy and stupid. Telling people that there's an unclaimed albino in the area, illegal and ripe for the taking, it would end in chaos. After everything Ran has told me about himself and how being an albino is nothing special at all, humans are so silly. It's a very Ran-like thought, but it comes to me naturally. The first 2 days passed quickly. Both of us rushed off of our feet and falling asleep as soon as our bellies are full. I don't trust the innkeeper lady. Something's gonna go horribly wrong. The day before the ship is to... Oh, I gotta check if this is still going. It is. The day before the ship is to depart, I go to the docks on my break. Ran isn't hard to spot, and I'm struck by how effortlessly strong he is and how hard he's being worked. He's easily carrying 3 times as much as any of the human dock workers and twice as much as any of the other Jean. Once he puts down his load, he notices me and comes over. Shabanu. Yes? My answer comes a little late, distracted as I am by the bead of sweat rolling down from his bicep, disappearing into the crook of his elbow. My head snaps up. I'm caught. Quite the view, isn't it? What? Ren flexes. He actually flexes and gives me a grin. If I didn't know better, I would call this flirting. If you want to flirt, well, you're gonna get the flirt. It's not a bad view, I'll give you that. Nothing too special, though. Oh, really? Is that why you can't take your eyes off of it? Anyway, the harbour master said I could go as soon as I finished loading those... The harbour master said I could go as soon as I finished loading those boxes. Guess what? I just finished. It's such an unusually normal conversation that it takes a moment to work out where it's heading. Did you want to go anywhere before heading back? Are you asking me out? Don't make it weird. If you don't want to go anywhere, we won't go. Oh, just forget it. Wait! We could always... Ran notices the change in my expression immediately. This time it's my turn to grab his arm and drag him out of sight behind a corner. We both peek out and confirm that yes, we are indeed doomed. Hamza. He walks through the crowd with large, slow strides, eyes intent. I've had to avoid a couple of soldiers here and there past a couple of days, but if he's here... Hamza stops and talks to the group of dock workers. He asks us some questions, and there's a really bad feeling rolling in my stomach. Yeah, we're dead. We have to get out of here, now, before someone points him right out to us. We hurry back to the inn, and as if to prove just how doomed we are, there's only a lot more patrols of Sia soldiers to dodge on our way. We spent the rest of the day closed inside, afraid. The next morning, we shut ourselves inside the empty kitchen and discuss what to do. We have a ship to catch. We can't miss it. If Hamza spoke to the harbor master and mentioned an albino Jean, hell, if he mentioned anything about a foreign girl and her Jean, that's it. We're done for. When we go to board the ship this morning, there could be an entire army waiting for us. I don't think... Shut up. Rand's eyes shoot to the door. Bounding over, he swings it open to reveal... The innkeeper's eyes are wide, her face ashen. You're them. The fugitives. The killers. Rand grabs her and drags her into the kitchen. He throws her down into a chair and stands over it, blocking the escape. The innkeeper is shaking. I won't tell anyone, I promise. Rand looks at me, expression unhappy but resolute. I'll kill her. Oh, please no. My lady, please, haven't I done right by you? I won't tell a soul, I promise, I promise. We can't risk it. Jiraiya. His use of my real name gets my attention. We can't risk it. I'll have to kill her. Tears stream down the innkeeper's cheeks. The truth is, I don't trust her. If our positions were reversed, I can't say for sure that I would tell the truth in this situation. She could put an end to everything. Rand stands resolute, ready to bloody his hands for us. Can we tie her up? Like in a closet? And then we can get on the boat and then at least we're gone? That would be like... No. No. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Let her go, Ran. What? Oh, thank you, my lady. I'll keep my word, I will. She grabs at my hand, pushes her cheek against it. Ran glares at me, disappointed, and under that, afraid. It's a complicated, ugly feeling inside me right now. But I think this is the right choice. Come on, Ran. We'll miss the ship. Relieved, the innkeeper's sobs still ringing out behind us. We wind carefully through the streets, thankfully not meeting any patrols until we get to the docks. As we go to board the ship, the captain stops us. I know you two. We freeze. Oh, God, is this it? Look, that old coot might have asked me to give you a passage, but I don't take kindly to freeloaders on my ship. You want to board, we'll be putting your Jean to work with the rest of the crew. The relief of not being outed is soured greatly at the prospect of using Rand for more hard labor. I open my mouth, but Rand beats me to it. Fine. He bows his head to the captain. I'd be happy to help. The captain is satisfied with this and welcomes us aboard. As we walk to the deck, Rand leans in close. Whatever it takes to get away from here, Shabanu. Whatever it takes. The terror that had my heart in its grip since yesterday only squeezes harder as freedom starts to feel closer. But there is no incident, no lying in wait, no big arrest. Though it's not until the ship finally pulls away from the harbor that the terror finally abates. Did we really do it? Did we escape? They're gonna be on the ship. I swear to God. Alright, that's a good place to end the episode. I recorded for longer than I wanted to, but it was so interesting. I had to see what's gonna happen. I will see you guys in the next episode. This is real fun. In not too long, I am going to a convention, which is going to take some time and effort, and while I'm not very good at the whole uploading regularly thing, I am trying. When I get home from that convention, there's nothing more on my plate. So I'll have probably more time and energy to work on recording stuff. This series is really fun. I really like this game so far. I am enjoying it immensely. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye!